Hi, I'm Michael Flores here at Physical Therapy Connections. I got another special request for another video about what can I do for my hand, my wrist, my thumb, and I appreciate all these requests as well. It helps me to make the videos for you guys because I don't know what you guys want. So if you can let me know what you want, great. I'll make a video as often as you want. But anyway, as far as the wrist goes, make sure you don't have any pain when you're doing it. But I want to show you 2 or 3 different things that you can do for just basic wrist stretches, whether you got injured playing ball or whether you have a desk job and you have carpal tunnel, any kind of wrist injury. Just make sure it doesn't hurt when you're doing it. The first thing I want to show you is more of a non-weight bearing stretch for the wrist, and it takes advantage of the 3 different dimensions that I always talk about. So all you have to do, you don't need any equipment, is take your hands, moving up and down like that. It's I always tell people it's like doing the wave at a sporting event. You know, like when the wave's coming and it's your turn and you go woo. It's like one of those. But that's it for the first part. You're just doing the wave. So the wrist essentially goes up and down. The second dimension, or the second direction, you take your hands side to side. This one I like to relate it almost to like you're wading across the water. Your hands are just kind of skimming the surface. It's nice and smooth. It's flowing. It feels good. And I move my whole body too, because I could show you just a simple stretch like this. Hold it. That's boring. And it only just moves your wrist. It's not real functional. But if you move it this way, you're moving your wrist, your elbow, your shoulders, everything. Your whole body's moving. Okay, the third one, we'll take that third dimension, and it's almost like you're doing a sideways figure 8. I'll show you one at a time. See how that's more of like a figure 8 going sideways? But I usually do them both at the same time. Same thing, I'm moving my wrist, elbow, shoulders, get the whole body moving. So that's your non-weighted stretch for your wrist. But let me show you that weighted stretch as well. So just find a nice empty table, countertop, something you could rest your hands on. To get your wrists to bend backwards better, get a little bit of pressure. Again, don't hurt yourself. And just as before, the 3 dimensions, 3 directions of movement would be side to side, forward and back. And then you could have either a rotation like this, or you could do one where you take your elbow, move it out, move it back, move it out, move it back. And then you can repeat the same thing with your wrists in this position. Same thing where you're going side to side. Same thing where you're going forward and back. You could do that same rotation. Or the same elbow back, elbow out, elbow back, elbow out. So that's the weighted stretch for the wrist. It gets you through all the 3-dimensional directions, making sure that your wrist is moving in every single way that you need it to. I did want to go over one last thing. I know I think last week or the week before I did some sort of a median nerve stretch. And your median nerve is one of the major nerves that comes out of your neck, innervates your hands and your wrist. Today, I wanted to go over a radian nerve stretch. So this one's a pretty simple one once you get it. I guess it is a little more complicated if you've never done it before. But all you do is you take your thumb, face it backwards, push your shoulders down. So in other words, don't shrug up, shrug down. Bend your wrist upwards. You should already start to feel a little bit of a stretch. And then from here, take your hand upwards. Now I'm really feeling a stretch. If you want a maximal stretch, you take your head the opposite way, and I'm really feeling that. If you don't want a maximal stretch, and let's say if your nerve is just really irritated, real tight, you can actually, when your hand goes up, you can actually take your head this way. And that puts a little bit of slack on the nerve. But again, if you want a big stretch, go ahead and take it out this way as your wrist is flexed, your thumb is backwards, your elbow's out to the side, and then your head's bent out to the side. So I hope this helps. Like I said, it's for anyone with your basic wrist pains, carpal tunnel, maybe you got it hurt playing a sport or any kind of recreational activity. But I hope it helps. If you do have any questions, feel free to call us. Number is 565-6678. And again, I'm Michael Flores from Physical Therapy Connections, and thank you for watching.